It's Real Fit Radio with B
and J.LOU.
If this is your first time listening, welcome. And if you're a returning listener, welcome back.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Note to self, you can't control how others receive your energy. Anything you do or say gets filtered through the lens of whatever personal shit they're going through at the moment, which is not about you. Just keep doing your thing with as much integrity and love as possible. It didn't give who quoted that.
That was a long one.
Yeah, but it all made sense.
I like it.
And we talk about this all the time. You can give all the advice, you can discuss, go back and forth, and people are still going to see things the way they want to see them. So after you give whatever information you're going to give, you walk away and continue being the best you.
2 of the 4 agreements. Don't take it personal and always do your best.
Well, there you have it. You already been taping that around the room and talking about it before, so.
Well, we're back and we're better. Starting early. It's 2:00 in the afternoon. I'm so glad we're not doing this on the back end. Because sometimes you guys, if you listen to some of our other podcasts, you hear, I'm so tired, I'm so sleepy. But we have to get it done. It's by any means necessary. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and jump into the meat and potatoes of today's podcast. When sex is not an option, when you take sex off the table, then what? One of the things I'm seeing with a lot of the young people is a lot of sex going on, and that equates to relationship. And then when issues evolve, and it's not even issues sometimes, it's just maybe a person is growing or trying to figure some things out, or they're not exactly the way they were in the beginning because life is happening. At that point, there are no other things on the table to keep it together. You know, I don't want to talk about all the stuff you're going through, whether it's some mental health issues, you're having a midlife crisis, or not midlife when you're young, but just a whole bunch of things. I just feel like it all revolves around, did you guys ever have a relationship, or were you just meeting up and everything led to sex? It's the physical attraction. I lust for you. You know, it's just everything is tied into sex. When you take sex off the table, or if in the beginning you take sex off the table, what then? What other options do you have? I have to kind of get to know you. I have to see what time is like with you without it leading to us getting physical. So that's what I wanted to talk about today. I'm not going to have a whole bunch to say as usual. You guys know I'm trying to get you the information quick. If you want to hear it again, just rewind it and push play. What do you think about that, Lou, when sex is not an option?
Well, yeah, it puts the pressure on the people to actually have some personality, because when you're going into something knowing that all you want is sex and that's on the table, then you can wing your way through until that moment arises just by not doing something that would cause a person to be turned off by you. But when you go in knowing, well, that's nothing that you can do that's going to lead to that point, it's going to test whether or not the person is really interested in you or not, or they just buying time for that moment. Even though it's not happening right now, I think it's a healthy move to partake in, just because you get to see what type of person you're dealing with, whether you're interested in them just because they're physically attractive to you, or there's some more depth and substance to that person. But if you keep that on the table, then you will never know, because it's so many different ways to move and shake on that.
Well, I think too, when sex is taken off the table, for some people, women specifically have been taught, don't give them sex right away. We've seen the movie Act Like a Woman, Think Like a Man. I almost butchered the title, where it was the 90-day rule. I don't think you can really put a timetable on it. I think that it should be intentional, where you're going to work harder in other areas to create a foundation that's solid in the event that we do have sex. That's not what's going to hold us together. I genuinely value you as a person. I genuinely think that if it never worked out in a relationship, we actually are friends. I don't think that the foundation for anything else is being laid to solidify, or not solidify, to strengthen stuff beyond the option of sex. Are you going to work as equally hard to know about this man or woman, what their goals are, how they are as a person, what's going on with their family? Do they want to be in a long-term or short-term relationship? How do they value friendship? how many friends do they have in their lives? You know, or do they not have any friends? And if they don't, let's explore, or you can kind of dig a little bit like, why don't you really have any friends? None from college, no childhood friends, just different things. I think once the sex starts happening, everything is blurred. I don't care what the integrity of this person is. I love that she or he gets me off.
Well, you can continue to fool yourself to think that there is no feelings that can be tied to those moments. People are not going on the keep it a buck situation or the keep it a buck mantra. It's, I'm going to play games with you, make you think that I'm interested in you, but I really want to have sex with you, and that's all. I might ask some low-level questions that'll get you to talk about what you got going on, but I really don't give a damn. What I really want to do is get in there, get it in, and be done.
And now a quick moment from our sponsor, Journey of a Legend.
You. Yeah, you. What's your passion? Purpose. Every day you try, you succeed. The time is now. Journey of a Legend. It starts with you.
If you want to learn more or purchase merchandise, go to www.journeyofalegend.com.
On the flip side, you have maybe the female that's over there. It's like, oh, well, I'm good with just the quote unquote casual sex or doing this, that, and the other, and we can link up, and that's all I want. But in actuality, you really want more than that. But you will just accept whatever the person is giving you and just dealing with it, because deep down inside, you really want more. But y'all on two different frequencies, and y'all just keep meeting up, and those frequencies get either stronger on one person's end, more distorted on the other person's end. And what I mean by that is you have these different type of feelings. One person gonna have different type of feelings where they want more, and then the other person may be like, nah, that ain't what it was about. I told you this already. But when you're doing it in a manner that a lot of the people are in this day and age, it can get confusing. Like you just said earlier about it being blurred lines. That's exactly what happened. You start doing all these kickbacks and hanging out and shit. It can get confusing because you're doing all the acts of a relationship as opposed to just linking up. I put myself in there. When I knew that's all I was doing, I'm going full-fledged. I might not even ask you how you doing, none of that shit when I first meet you. Look, I like you and I want you. What we doing? No. Okay. All right. I'm just telling you, in college at 20 and 21, depending on where I was, whether it was in a club or not, or sometimes in a college setting of a party, I ain't trying to meet you like that. We know exactly what it is. It's alcohol being passed around. You got these half booty shorts on and shit. I'm not really trying to find out. So, you know, what's your name? You're like, you a freshman, this, that, and other, blah, blah, blah. You know pretty much what the setting is. And you're either going to tell me no, or you're going to tell me, yeah, that's from a male standpoint. Female standpoint, I can't speak for all of them, but from experience and some of them telling me what they were doing, it's like they knew who they was eyeballing the moment they got there. They was waiting on for that person to come up. It wasn't about meeting and exchanging numbers and hooking up later and doing some chilling shit. The chilling, we knew exactly what it was. It's just interesting how it's being done, is being under a different guise of sexual activity. I think it's honestly the same in regards to back when I was in school and this newer 20s generation. Still some similarities there where, yeah, sex was still on the table. Then you find out later, like, damn, I ain't even really feeling them like that. But you already engaged in the act. That hasn't changed, but I just think it changed to a degree of more like, oh, where I'm kicking it with them more. Are you doing more of the boyfriend, girlfriend type engagement? But at the same time, we know what kind of engagement this is. That gets confusing, at least to me and my way of thinking. It's like, it's no way I'm going to kick it with a girl the way I see some people. Or I hear some stories where they kicking it with them like that, and it's like, nah, I really ain't feeling them like that, but I'm hitting them. I get it from a moral standpoint. We already know it's wrong to begin with to do it, regardless of how you're doing it, because it ain't the right way to do that. But I'm definitely not going in that direction where I'm hanging out.
No, I understand completely where you're coming from. If sex is what you're looking for, this podcast topic is not for you. This is specifically for when sex is not an option and you just being kind of open and having a better understanding, just being transparent with yourself. I want more than sex with this person. So let me not put that at the forefront of our interaction. Let me just make sure that I work on some other areas so we have some stronger pillars to the foundation for us to grow into a possible friendship or more.
But do you think people know that off the rip, whether it's something that they want to know more about that person, or you think they learn that after the fact?
They can make it that. When you see someone, we all know initially if someone we see we're physically attracted to. It's been rare for me where I've seen someone and I wasn't attracted, but then I became attracted. There has to be some sort of interaction. Like you may have been working with someone for a while, and initially when you saw them, when you first started working at the company or the place, you know, they were just kind of there. But as time went on and you guys are building this work relationship, there's conversations that are being had. They make you laugh, the back and forth banter. Maybe you have lunch with them. You may say, I'm kind of attracted to him, but you unintentionally kind of put some other things into play. That's the only way I think that it could happen for me. You see someone, initially there's an attraction. If you approach a guy or a guy approaches the girl, you know I'm attracted to this person. At that moment, you can make a decision. Do I want to get to know them, or am I looking at them like the DTF? This is a booty call. But I want to take that option and make it not an initial option. Sex is not happening. I want to kind of dive in and get to know if this is somebody that I'd want to have as a friend, because once we have sex, we can't go back from that. I want to know if this is a person that I could still call on in a capacity even after we had sex, and he's not going to be dry about it or not answer his phone because I'm not giving him no ass anymore. Maybe I'm dealing with somebody else now because it just wasn't working between us, but we really genuinely have a solid foundation where I like you as a person. I genuinely want to see you succeed in your endeavors. You cool with me. It was more than just sex being the whole reason we connected, and we hid it all under the false guise of hanging out. And, you know, I don't know, I think I'm attracted to you, maybe, but what we doing? Well, let's go eat. Let's go hang out. Let's go do this. When I really know I saw you and I wanted to have sex with you. That's all I wanted from you.
I've had an experience like that where I initially was a person that came in, like, and I told him after talking to him for a couple of weeks that at first, all I was trying to do was hit. That's what I said. And I know I said this may end what we got going on. I was more outspoken then and very, what do you call it? I didn't use any tact or coup. I just let it all hang out. And I told him, but after talking to you last couple of weeks, I don't even want to do that. They intrigued me to want to learn more about what was going on because of the conversations that we had. So yeah, it was like, you know what? Oh, I'm cool without doing that. We ain't got to do that. And we didn't. And it ended up being a cool thing. So yeah, I mean, sometimes I think, and I can only speak from my perspective as a male, I mean, you can initially come in with that intention, and then a woman can say some things to you and you be like, damn, do you really want to mess this up by just doing that? But you got to have that mentality to begin with, to want to be around people of like mind. If you're not, then you won't see that either. It won't even matter that they have that type of mindset. You still gonna miss the boat.
Right. And you said something that's really good, of like mind, which on this note is it's a wrap for me. Are you making sex the option, or making it an option that you lead up to? And by saying the option, meaning sometimes people don't even leave you with anything else but sex. The conversation is trash.
Yeah. You
don't have any suggestions of what we could do. When I call you, you know, it's just nothing. You're just there, but you know there's an attraction there. And it's, well, okay, what you doing? Okay, but you still keep hanging around because sex is the option at this point. But don't make it the girl you spoke of. She had more to her, where sex was an option later, but it wasn't the option. Like, you ever get on the phone with somebody and be like, ooh, this girl is dumber than a bag of rocks.
But I gotta hold
I'm gonna hold out because I'm still trying to hit this though. She still look good though.
Yeah.
And you know, you kind of hang around like, I'm still, and after this, I don't even want to have no conversation. You just trash. Like, but I already started it, so I gotta finish it. I gotta see what it's like. So that is when it's the option. So no. I'm not saying you can't have it as an option. be intentional with it not being the option. Make it an option for later so that you might have some other great things that come into play, and sex being one of it, but later, not immediate. Well, as always, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, suggested topics, or you want to keep this conversation going, you can shoot us an email at realfitradio@gmail.com. Our podcast drops every Monday. You can catch a snippet of any of the latest on our Instagram at realfitradio. If you're not following us, you definitely should be. As always, we hope this inspired, impacted, or empowered someone. Until next time.